Sometimes I think as human beings we can get ourselves into places where we start doubting what God really said. And we all know the promises, we all believe them with our heads, but do we really believe them in our hearts? And I think when we go through tough times or when we're not seeing the fulfillment of certain things, that's the time that exposes our hearts and what we truly believe. And just recently, I was talking to someone and I was saying, if this happens, then, if God really said that, or if that does happen, then wow, that would just be very interesting. And I remember I said that out aloud, and that following week, God just so lovingly rebuked me and he said, Bonnie, are you going to be like Sarah and laugh and mock at what I said? Or are you going to believe like Abraham? Because when God spoke to Abraham and said he's going to be a blessing to the nations and he's going to have a son, that he's going to have offspring, in the natural that looked completely impossible. And it didn't just look impossible, it was completely impossible. Sarah's womb was dead, she could not have kids. And so when God spoke that, Sarah laughed. She laughed out aloud. And it wasn't like just a laugh, it was a mocking laugh. And she doubted what God said because she was looking at the natural. But Abraham, we read, it says he believed in what his God could do. And even though in the natural it was impossible, Abraham knew what his God was capable of. And he by faith believed. He believed in that moment. He chose not to look at what the natural circumstances said or was available. He chose to look to God and have faith and believe. And God just said, if I've promised you something, if I've blessed you with something, do you really think I'm going to take it away? Do you really think I'm not going to fulfill it? Do you really think that it's not going to happen? And I just was like, wow, I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to mock. I'm not going to doubt. And since then, every time I want to go, if that happens, I have literally shut my mouth and gone, sorry, God, I know that you've spoken it, that you've said it, so I believe. So right now I choose to believe. I might not see it in the natural, it might look impossible, but I'm choosing to believe. Because if Sarah's womb can have a baby, if Sarah's dead womb can create life, then you can take the dead things that I see and the things that are impossible and you can turn everything around. And I'm choosing to believe. And I wanted to just share that because I know God has promised every single person something and many things. And it can be so easy to get sidetracked and distracted or to lower our expectation because we're basing it on what we're seeing, our circumstances, or what we're not seeing. But if we lift our eyes above and we say, yes, God, I believe. I don't know how it's going to happen. It might look different to what I think, but that's okay. I'm going to believe in what you said, because if you said it, then it's going to happen. And I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to mock. I'm not going to doubt. I'm going to believe because you said. Because if Sarah can have a baby, then I too can have a fulfillment. I too can see a dream fulfilled. And I just think, we just got to remind ourselves that it might look different to what we thought. It might come at a later stage. I know when we were trying to fall pregnant, I didn't realize how difficult it would be just to fall pregnant. And it took us 5 years of trying. And I remember holding on to the promise. God gave me dreams and I knew we were going to have a baby. And I've had a lot of complications and there's reason to doubt, but I held on to God's promise. And during pregnancy, God gave me a dream of a beautiful baby boy, and that's the exact baby boy I gave birth to. And if it wasn't for knowing his promises and having that dream to hold on to, I think I would have just doubted or crumbled away. But I chose, even in the natural, when things were tough and seemed impossible, I held on to what God said. I didn't hold on to what my parents said. I didn't hold on to what my husband said or what the world says or what friends say. I held on to truth. I held on to what God said, because His words do not return void. His words will always come to pass, no matter what. His word is truth. And His word is full of love, and His word is for the best of all of us. And so right now, I just declare that His word would be truth in your life. It would be the biggest and the greatest voice in your life, and that you would hear from heaven, from His voice, from His lips, what He is saying. And I just declare fulfillment. I declare fruitfulness. I declare where people are trying to fall pregnant and are struggling, I declare His promise into your life. Where you're having financial difficulty, I declare blessing upon blessing. I declare answers. I declare the right people to come into your life at the right time. I declare answers from heaven. I declare solutions. I declare new businesses, new opportunities. Whatever it is, we just speak it out right now. And we bless every single person to follow what God has said and to believe and to say, yes, I choose to believe.